Borussia Dortmund are self-sabotaging kings, and that's shown itself a lot throughout the season in many different ways across many different tournaments. And despite them being in second place in Bundesliga right now, I honestly have been having growing concerns for the team moving forward. And on top of that, the questions that keep lingering in my mind every single weekend that I'm watching this team play: will they ever reach their peak again, and will they ever lift a trophy again? Now, again, they are currently in second place, and I honestly am not sure how or why. They've been in second place for a hot minute, for honestly a majority of the time in the league, but I'm just so unsure of this team's playing style. Whenever Kovac came in, ever since then, watching this team play, I've been trying to figure out what system is he having the guys play. Again, what's the playing style? What is going on in training that's being implemented into the game? Like, how's that being reflected into the games when they play? And I honestly couldn't tell you, like, the team, if I were to describe in one word, is just disoriented. Kovac ball to me is literally slapping spaghetti on the wall and hoping that it sticks and figuring it out from there. I honestly feel like that's been really telling, especially within the past couple of games that we've played, in the way that the team has finished these games. Dortmund's really possession heavy, I've noticed, especially these past 5 games. They have all the possession, they have all these passes, the XG is high, but it really doesn't mean anything. Like, nothing comes out of it, to be honest. And if something does come out of it, meaning a win, they do it in the most unsettling and nervy way possible. And I would use the most recent game as an example, but they ended up losing that game against Bayer Leverkusen. And honestly, even in that game, there was no creativity going into the final third, going to the box. I don't know what was going on with the guys. It was like, as soon as they made their way into the box or towards the box, their legs turned into jello, all ball competency left their brains, and they just had the most crazy shots on, not even on target, just the most crazy shots. Guirassi's shot keeps coming into my mind. Like, instead of just passing the ball to a teammate and maybe they could have flubbed it, he just completely fumbled it in the worst way possible. And in the games prior to that one, they won 2-0 against Stuttgart in the dying minutes of the game. I think in the 94th and 96th minute is when they decided that we actually know how to play this sport and we actually know how to score a goal. And then prior to that game, they had a home game against Hamburg, which they debuted those beautiful kits that are way too expensive for my liking. And if it weren't for the penalties given and Bensebaini scoring both of them, they would have lost that game in the most disappointing way. Now, I will say, despite the disorientedness and disheveledness, I don't think those are words, but they will be for this video, one strength I'll give them is the players' individual qualities and how they each bring their own flair and style to the team, and they benefit the team in their own way, which obviously, you would want that in your players when you're bringing them in. But whenever they are like locked in, they play cohesive footy, they have chemistry, all of their like individual styles, you can see them just like mesh well with each other. Like, you have Adeyemi, who you can depend on to be lightning fast and make that run when you're going up, or you have Nico Schlotterbeck, who has now become public enemy number 1 all of a sudden, but you can depend on him to make a sliding tackle whenever the other team is doing a transitional play, or to block a shot, or even Fabio Silva whenever he gets subbed in or miraculously starts the game. He's like the Energizer bunny that's like forcing the goalkeeper to make that pass whenever he's like putting pressure on him, or trying to like make the run forward as fast as he can to, you know, make something happen for the team. Whenever like all of their individual qualities come together, they really do play some great footy. And I think my favorite game this season, which is ironic to say because there have not been a lot of good games, but I will say the game they had against Bodo Glimt in UCL. That's probably one of the few games that I was like, okay, this is like the old Dortmund that I remember watching. Like, the way they just all had such creativity and they played freely in a way, and they just all played so well together. They linked well together, and I think they won that game, maybe like 3-0 or something. Or no, did they tie that? I think they tied that game. But the footy was still beautiful nonetheless. On the other hand, though, a weakness I will give them is them as a team cohesively falling apart at the most inconvenient times, which is why I call them self-sabotaging kings. And you can see that in the way that we crashed out in UCL and Pokal this season. DFB Pokal, I don't remember all the details because that was months ago, but they were doing great up until the round of 16 against Leverkusen. I'm not sure if that game was home or away, but for some reason, if it wasn't home, we just can't seem to lock down on Leverkusen at home, which is kind of crazy, but whatever. And then in UCL, absolute crap fest in Italy against Atalanta. Either all they had to do was, like, I think score a goal and park the bus, but they couldn't finish their chances. Our defense got cooked. Bentabani karate kicked one of their players in the head, ended up getting a red, and it was just a big fat mess. But honestly, I should have known that we were going to crash out badly, because after losing 3-0 to Tottenham away, that was just foreshadowing, because losing to Tottenham Hotspur of all teams, yeah, that was a sign that we weren't going to get far in that competition. Moving on from this team as a collective, I do want to list my 3 key players for the team this season. First off being Julian Brandt, who, despite me having beef with him last season because he prevented Gio from getting playing time, I have to admit he does do a good job in his position. He shows up when you need him. He tries to make things happen in the midfield and going forward into the box final third. And sometimes it kind of feels like he's one of the few players, whenever we're like in shambles and down a goal, that tries to make things happen. And he's definitely like a right time, right place, right time type of guy. Yeah, we'll go with that. But unfortunately, we're sending him off in the summer. He's no longer going to be a player for us after the season, and we'll see how much that affects our midfield. But honestly, we're doing a lot of clean house already. We have him leaving, Sula's leaving as well, Özkan. I don't know which other players are leaving, but yeah, we'll see if Dortmund can bring in someone of his caliber or better. But if things look a little crazy in the midfield next season, it'll kind of be a little telling, you know, the type of player that he was and how beneficial he was for Dortmund. Now, the next player I have is Felix Mecha, regretfully, and I say regretfully because if you know, you know. But he's been out injured. I don't know if he's going to be back before the season ends. I will say though, these past couple games without him have shown like we have a hole in the midfield. And when it comes to like our transitional plays, like moving forward, we just haven't been successful like whenever he was on the field. And I feel like he also linked well with Joe Bellingham, who I think seems to feel a little incomplete without him. So again, hate to say it out loud, but Mecha, whenever he's on it, and I can't take that away from him. He really is a good player. I just wish he was just, you know, stop talking about certain things. But regretfully so, I think he's been one of the top 3 players for the team this season. And then last but not least, we have Gregor Kobel, who's been carrying this back line on his back for ever at this point. I think he currently leads the league in clean sheets, which is crazy to me. I'm just really having a hard time believing that this team is actually doing well statistically, because what I'm seeing on the field just does not match what's on paper. But there have been many times throughout him being here where I just believe he's justified in, first of all, fighting all his teammates, especially his defense, with a baseball bat. But I feel like he's justified in leaving the club, but he's still here and we're thankful for that. And I just hope that there will be one season where his defense doesn't let him down in the most embarrassing way possible. We can only hope though. Now I have some pre-conclusion questions that I listed here in my little Notion notes thing. First is, can they sustain their top 4 spot? I personally think they can stay in second place until the season ends. There's absolutely no way they're going to be touching Bayern unless something drastic happens with that club and they lose everything and we ended up just winning everything. And even then, I don't even know if the numbers would allow that to happen. But I definitely think they can stay in second place, remain in that spot, and we're just gonna have to hold that second place medal with pride. But as for the team being real contenders in the future, I think if Kovac can finesse his way into staying in top 3, getting in that top or number 1 spot in Bundesliga, and then on top of that, if in Champions League we can make it much farther than we did this season, and even in Pokal as well, like if we're able, whatever his system is, his playing style is, because I really just don't know what Kovac ball is supposed to be, but if he's able to finesse us being in second place for, honestly, we've been in second place for a hot minute and we've been able to sustain it. If he's able to, whatever he's doing, add on to that in a positive way, whether it be bringing in different players and changing certain things, I don't know, but I definitely think Dortmund can be contenders for winning trophies like in the future. I mean, the last time we won a trophy was 2021, which was the Pokal, and then we almost could have won Bundesliga and win the Meisterschaft, but all they had to do was win one game, but they couldn't even do that, and that was back in 2023. And I think after that season was when I was like, all right, I don't think I have nothing else for this team anymore, because if they can't even do the simple task of winning a game, you guys worked so hard throughout the season, and then this, you know. Okay, so I don't think the Dortmund gods liked how I brought up that failure in 2023 because my camera overheated. Okay, I don't even remember what I was saying, but let's just move forward. Does this season give me hope for next season? Honestly, no, but I will say I'm not too sure if Dortmund is rebuilding or if they're just maintaining. I definitely think with all of the players that will be going out, and I've seen a lot of different rumors of the young players that they're linked with, so maybe that's giving me just a little bit of hope, because I'm just not too sure. There's just still too much going on within the club, like front office and everything, so we don't really know what's going to happen in the summer. And I kind of have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of changement in the summer. So I think the past couple of years, Dortmund has been trying to maintain and do like a fake rebuild, but I think they've just kind of been maintaining and realizing that I think that's not really working out for them anymore. So I think we'll just have to see for next season. But again, if Kovac is able to finesse his way into, staying this high up in the table, I definitely think with whatever players that he wants to bring in and implement, then we'll just figure it out then, and hopefully he can again bring the team closer to some type of glory, because this season was just really disappointing the way we crashed out of both those other tournaments, but whatever. And then for my conclusion, I already talked about this. I think they're going to stay in second place. There's no way they can catch up to Bayern. They have 5 games left, 2 home, 3 away. They should be winnable games. They have Hoffenheim away. I'm not really sure how they're doing. Freiburg at home, Gladbach away. Gladbach hasn't been great, so if we don't win this game, then I don't know what to tell them. Frankfurt away and Bremen away. So I said 2 home, 3 away, but I have 4 away games. I'll put it on the screen. I don't have the mental brain to try to do anything right now. But yeah, we'll just see how this season ends, see how everything goes. Yeah, Heja BVB, I guess.